Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
And we're back, man. Episode 223.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, we had to take a quick break because Keith got COVID.
Boy got the vid.
So you could thank Keith for ruining the podcast.
Yep.
Well, now we're still within the week, so we still released another week.
Late.
A couple days late.
Yeah.
There were some people that they weren't so much upset, but they were like, damn, man, I was expecting something, but...
You know what that reminded me of? Keith? Like when Chadwick Boseman died. Not that our podcast is Black Panther 2.
Not at all.
When Chadwick Boseman died, people was like, dang, man, that sucks. But what about Black Panther 2?
Yeah.
It's like, what about my health and everyone else's health around me? But
somebody's like, I hope Keith died. It's like, damn, that's fucked up.
Niggas been plotting to take my seat for the longest.
Yes, I got something to talk about. It's about time you have a white co-host. All right, let's get right into it, man. There's been a lot of shit going on, so let's get right into it. The biggest story right now in America is Roe versus Wade, which is the abortion rights. That has been the biggest topic. And me and Keith usually, like with these type of things, I'm kind of glad we were granted a few extra days.
Yeah.
Because it allowed us to really dive deep into this. And what I've come to the conclusion of is this. Let me preface my statements, or I want to say Keith can speak for himself, but I'll preface my statements with, this is not going to be a very liberal or conservative take. I'm just like, I'm not pro-life. I'm not pro-choice. At this point, I'm just pro-information.
Yeah.
I've took the time to really look into this, and I think a very liberal narrative is like, no one should be able to tell women what to do with their bodies. That is the liberal narrative. And then the conservative one is baby killer, baby killer.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot deeper than both of those like ideologies or ideas.
Yeah.
Me and Keith, we'll start off with some drivers we've seen of why women are getting abortions. And it's basically stating women's reasons for seeking an abortion fell into 11 broad themes. The predominant themes identified as reasons for seeking abortion included financial reasons, which were 40%, timing, which was 36%, partner-related reasons, 31%, and the need to focus on other children, 29%. Most women reported multiple reasons for seeking an abortion, crossing over several themes, 64%, using mixed effects, multivariate logistics regression analysis. We identified from social and demographic predictions of the predominant themes women gave for seeking an abortion. Here's the deal. We see that one of the drivers is finances, right? And I think that if you mentioned that and you said like, hey, we know that the number one driver is not rape or some form of assault. That's obviously not number one. And people will be like, it's just finances? So you mean to tell me you're a baby killer because you can't afford the baby? That's the conservative narrative.
Yeah.
But let me also say that I don't think abortions are a good thing. Mm-hmm. They're not. They're not like, yay, go abortions. Like, no.
Yeah.
But I do think in some cases they are necessary. If a woman feels that she is not financially set or has a partner who is financially set to have a child, can you say that she's wrong for that? And the reason why I can say that is you look at that differently when you grew up poor. Mm-hmm. There was times where the electric was cut off in my house. There was times where I didn't have food to eat. That was a tough childhood sometime, man. Mm-hmm. That was tough. Damn, that goddamn notification's going off again. I really wish you stopped watching porn on that laptop, Keith.
Where else am I going to watch?
Yeah, but the thing about it is they'll say like, you shouldn't be killing babies. You should give that baby up for adoption. Okay, there's history. Well, not just history. There's statistics that show that a lot of times the adoption is like a pipeline to prison. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of children that go through adoption that get sexually assaulted and freaking all kinds of shit, molested. They end up going to juvenile, being a juvenile, ultimately going to prison. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're literally making statements only that reflect your beliefs. You're not looking at the logic or the statistics behind what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And if a woman feels that she's not financially ready, who am I to say she's wrong for having an abortion? Who am I to say she's wrong? Mm-hmm. Do I think abortion's right? No. But do I think she's wrong? No. I feel like I could feel multiple ways. I don't have to lean left or right on this. Yeah. I could just have an opinion about both of them. Because like if somebody was to ask you, are abortions a good thing? You couldn't give that a yes or no response. Mm-hmm. You would say, well, I feel that a woman's choice. No. Are abortions a good or a bad thing?
Yeah.
That's a yes or no question. It's not more of a, damn, what's up with that fucking, you hear that?
Yeah.
Fucking car alarm went off right when I started talking about abortions. But yeah, man, it's not, to me, it's not a good thing, but it's definitely necessary at some points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's kind of where I fall on the matter as well. I think that there are instances where I think just in general, like you said, when I think about what it really boils down to, which is there is a baby that has been living for X amount of weeks, right, X amount of months, and essentially somebody is killing that fetus or right, that unborn child, and kind of ridding the responsibility of raising said, fetus or whatever, or said baby. When you think about that, and then coupling that with like the other day, I was just, I don't know, I might have been just brushing my teeth, and then I kind of had those vivid images of those people that stand outside with the bloody fetuses on the tables and whatnot, and I just thought about that, and I'm just like, man, that's such a sad image.
It is.
And I get it, you know what I mean? But on the other end, there are instances in my personal life, and I haven't experienced this, but there are instances in my personal life where I know that I probably would have an abortion. Right now, whatever happens in my life, I would probably just handle it, just because I'm a little bit more mature. I'm older, and I would just take on the responsibilities of me of doing that. But I know one of my best friends in high school, he got a girl pregnant, and I don't know if he went, and I don't know if he ever told his mom or whatever the case may be, but he got the girl pregnant, and she had to get an abortion. And when
Jeez, what's up with the people this morning?
So much noise.
It's a busy morning. A lot of criminals out. Dun, dun, dun. They shooting an episode of Cops out here. I'm rocking now, being the aim.
Yeah, but yeah, my guy, he ended up getting an abortion, and when I think about that situation, it was obviously a very emotional experience for him and the girl that he was with, but I can't even imagine what his life would look like, him having a child in high school. But even with that, the only reason he was having a kid in high school is because he wasn't wearing a condom.
Right.
And we all, as much as you want to think that a 17, 18-year-old kid doesn't know the responsibilities of laying down with a woman, or what they should do in that situation, or the type of protection, contraceptive, whatever they should be using. He knew full and well that he should have been wearing a condom in that situation, and he did not do that. And the result of that is him having almost having a child. So and that kind of goes to the point that Eddie showed in the statistics. Like, the people like to throw that on there, like, well, what about the people that have been raped, and what about these different situations where the woman was forced to do this, or whatever the case may be.
It's not a real driver.
Yeah, the people that I know in my personal life, my friend that I'm speaking about, he laid down with a woman and didn't wear a condom, and he conceived a child.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what I think most people's situations look like. So to me, it seems like when we think about what an abortion really is, which is essentially killing an unborn child, and we couple that with the lack of responsibility that often happens when people are having sex, whether it's not wearing a condom or, just being careless in that way, shape, or form, or not wearing a condom with somebody that you're not willing to spend the rest of your life with, or not willing to kind of raise a child with. You start to see like where some of that despair comes from, or where some of that conflict comes from, because it's like you're making an active decision, you're making an irresponsible decision over here, but you also want this caveat or this get out of jail free card whenever you do conceive a child.
Now let me say this. I said earlier it's not a real driver. I mean, it's not driving the numbers in regards to why women get abortions.
Mm-hmm.
The hell is that noise? You hear that?
There's a bell next door.
It's a bell next door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a real situation. There are women that do get raped and get pregnant, which is a horrible situation. And if a woman is to seek an abortion for that, I don't think anyone should say anything, because that's it's traumatic.
Yeah,
in the first
sometimes
place.
it's relatives as well.
Yeah, it's traumatic. So that's one thing.
I'm glad you cleared that up, because
people are overly emotional. And he's a piece of shit. You don't listen. Listen, please. Listen.
Yeah.
Because what happens is conservatives and liberals, they get overly emotional when you don't reflect their points. And it's like, dude, that's the problem. That's the reason why there's so much division in the country. It's based on the fact that your people are with the party, even when the party is full of shit.
Yeah.
There are certain things and certain statements made by liberals and conservatives that's just so off. Like, conservatives really think that every child should be born. And I think that that's also not true. Because what happens is this is another thing that conservatives just refuse to acknowledge. A child that is brought into this world that is not loved properly is the biggest threat to society. All these fucking mass shootings going on. I'm not saying that all of them were not loved properly, but I would assume some of them are not. They could end up being a menace to society. Every child should not be born. If you cannot love a child properly, if you cannot place a child in a home that is at least somewhat financially responsible enough to where they could raise a child, like, that's a whole, like, literally, as a child growing up in poverty, you are literally working to escape poverty your whole life up until adulthood. I don't think people understand what that means. Most parents that don't have any fucking money that have kids, they literally hand out poverty on a platter to their fucking children. Hey, children, here's poverty.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here goes an air sandwich. There's no food and there's no meat in it. Just two pieces of bread. Here you go.
Yeah.
And these are real issues that affect children and Americans all over the country. But you got conservatives pushing that. Then you got liberals pushing some false narratives. We're tired of men telling us what to do with our bodies. That's not really a real narrative. Wasn't there 3 women?
Yes, 3 women on the Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, 3 women on the Supreme Court justice that voted against it. I've seen women in Bakersfield holding signs with the bloody fetuses and calling people baby killers. This is not just men telling.
It's not a gender thing.
It's not a gender thing. Yeah. We've seen this all over the place. And it's terrible to see these things. I just don't think I think in this case, like, people need to listen. You can't just push your ideology on people.
Even sorry to cut you off, but even that idea where it's like it's a bunch of old white men telling people what to do with their bodies.
Fucking Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas is black.
Yeah, Clarence Thomas. I don't know. I think we traded him in the racial draft. We traded Clarence Thomas for Eminem.
Somebody had a great rebuttal for Clarence Thomas. Because after the Roe v. Wade thing was overturned, he was like, basically he was quoted as saying, let's look at the same-sex marriage. And it was one other thing that he said to look at. And then they were saying like, well, Clarence Thomas conveniently didn't bring up the Loving versus Virginia case. And for those of you that don't know what that is, that's the interracial marriage thing that it was like 1970s.
I forgot, but it's interracial
marriage. No, it
marriage.
was like, I don't know. It might have been
like
40s
or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
Interracial. I think it's 1953.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
Yeah, somewhere in there. It was a black and white picture. So whenever they, back in the day when they had the black and white filters on, But obviously Clarence Thomas's wife is white, so you know they. It's my niece calling me.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I just silenced it. Mm-hmm.
No, it's funny though, because you want to go after gay marriage and same and whatnot, and let's take a look at this. And these are very conservative talking points, and they're also reflected by like religion. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's okay to push our religion on everybody. Mm-hmm. You know, America is a melting pot. You got people who are Muslim, you got people who are Buddhist, all kind of people that live in America, and you want to push these abortion rights on them? They don't believe in the same God we do. Mm-hmm. It's just that our government, especially conservatives, want to push their religious beliefs and blend them into politics. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm not the what is Charlamagne saying? I'm not the highest grade of weed in the dispensary, right? Yeah. But isn't it supposed to be like a separation between church and state?
I think so, but in this case, I don't think that there is actually a such thing, because some of the Bible was created before America was.
100%.
So some of the things that are sins in the Bible are also like illegal, if that makes sense. So I don't even know if that thing is real.
Nah, because then they say one nation under God.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
There's no, I don't.
There's no separation between church and state. If it says on a dollar bill, don't it say on a dollar bill?
Yeah.
And it's got like Illuminati and an eye right there.
In God we trust, or something like that.
Yeah, in God we trust.
I just got debit cards these days.
I don't even think I got no money in my wallet. I think I do have cash.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
Yeah. No, it's just crazy how much hypocrisy exists with liberals and conservatives, and it's counterproductive to the overall conversation. Here's another one. When COVID popped off, liberals were the main ones pushing the fucking vaccine on people, saying, you need to save a life. You need to save a life. What about grandparents? What about elderly? You need to take this fucking COVID vaccine. Mm-hmm. And then conservatives fought back by stating, my body, my choice. Right. My body, my choice. Yeah. So it's double hypocrisy. You want to know why? Mm-hmm. Liberals were siding with the government on what to do with their body.
Yeah.
But now you don't want to side with the government on what to do with your body. Uh-huh. And then conservatives, they said my body, my choice, but you only use that statement when it backs up your narrative.
Yeah.
So it's just liberals and conservatives are so full of shit that they don't even see when they being full of shit.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me the same government that you don't trust with abortion rights, you siding with the government to push a vaccine that had no real research behind it, but you want to push that vaccine on people? Mm-hmm. That shit wild, bro. When you really look at it now, especially post-pandemic,
yeah,
it's like that shit was wild what the liberals are doing, and conservatives was the same foolery.
Yeah, and not to even get into the COVID conversation,
right?
The vaccine don't do nothing.
No, we know people that took Moderna, they took Costco, they took all
two vaccines, a booster, a booster seat, and they still got COVID.
They took every form of that shit. They took the Costco version. They took Great Value, nigga. They took them all.
The CVS version.
Yeah, they took Snoop Dogg got a vaccine.
Snoop Dogg got a vaccine NFT that he's selling too.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, y'all head out to get my new vaccine. It gets you high as a motherfucker. Oh man,
crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. And looking at this shit here too, man, it's so many other things. Mm-hmm. Another thing people don't look at too is when it comes to the conversation surrounding women saying we don't need men telling us what to do. Like, let's be clear. The men that are involved with making these decisions are the 1% of the elite of the government. Me and Keith have no power over any woman in America.
I don't got no say so.
We don't got no say so.
And even like, sorry to cut you off, but even to that point, it's only, I think, 9 Supreme Court justices, and that's the only people that are making this
100%.
Yeah.
But I think that based on, I guess, the historical context and the men in America and X and Y, and more specifically the liberal not talking point, but focus on men is white cis male, bad. Bad person, white cis male, right? At least I'm black, so I don't get the brunt of it. But
Yeah.
you know, I'll be like, get him. All right?
Yeah. Anytime you could shoo it off.
Yeah, go ahead and get the white guy. It ain't me. But that's the thing. And truth be told, there are a lot of men that support women, but there are a lot of men like me who support women, but we also can see where the lines get blurred and where certain conversations are skewed. And you got to start pushing back on those things in order to have more healthy conversations surrounding this whole subject matter. Because there are a lot of people that just say, conservatives, baby killer, baby killer, baby killer. Liberals, my body, my choice. And they stay in those pockets. And they don't have any other conversations than that.
Yeah.
And literally, there are some people that will listen to this podcast and say, you know what? I'm done listening to Eddie and Keith because they don't support women. And it's like, well, goodbye, because you have not been listening.
You don't have the skills to.
You don't have the. You don't have the. You don't have the. I won't say the aptitude, but you don't have the comprehension skills to really listen to what me and Keith are saying.
Yeah.
We have sisters, we have aunts, we have women in our lives. Of course, we support women, but we have to have more conversations surrounding this subject than just this.
Yeah, I think too. Like, one of the things that is, I guess, a thing that we as a society have to be mindful of is the drama connected to what goes on in the government.
Oh, man.
A lot of that stuff is out of our control, man.
100%.
You know, whether it's a same-sex marriage thing, like you obviously have a vote on some of these things, but for the most part, the overall control of what goes on a day-to-day basis in the government, you have no control over. So I seen after the thing was overturned, the abortion rights were overturned. There was a news clip that I seen, and there was a girl who was hysterical. She was a 21-year-old girl. She was like, "Oh my gosh, my life is over. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me." And I'm like, "Dog, you 21."
Yeah.
You know, like I can understand if you was 3 months in or whatever however many months in, and you were getting ready to have an abortion because your life was affected in one of those drastic ways that we spoke of earlier. But you 21 years old, and it doesn't, you know, from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like this is actually affecting your life.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't seem like it's, especially if you know it beforehand. If this is the way of life, right? If you come into this world like, God forbid, you know, my niece or anybody else that's just young, or any of my nieces, you know, they go into a world where they don't even have a recollection of being able to get an abortion. Right? That's just the way of life for them. So there's no drama connected to it because they don't know what life looks like outside of that. But, you know, for a person that's 21 years old, all you would have to do to live a, you know, fruitful life, or, you know, a fulfilling life, or whatever the case may be, is one, you got to remove the drama, and two, just be more mindful of who you laying down with.
True.
And you don't have to be that affected.
That's a trigger point, Keith.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, that's just the reality of it. Like if you are, you know, I guess, you know, kind of going back to the conversation beforehand, it's like, okay, this is what the world looks like. Either we can be mad, we can protest about it.
There you go.
Or we can wear condoms.
There you go. But here's the trigger point, though. Oh, my God. Another man mansplaining, telling me who I should be more responsible, laying down with. You're just gaslighting me. Oh, my God. That's the new... Like, that's like the new liberal.
Gaslight,
You're just gaslighting. Men are gaslighting us, telling us to be more responsible. No.
Well,
I think
gas is expensive.
Yeah, it is expensive. But what I will say is, every man doesn't deserve your vagina. Some guys are fucking idiots that are incapable of being fathers, that are incapable of being leaders, that are incapable of taking care of their responsibility. And that dude does not deserve your naked pussy. He needs to put a fucking condom on.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what needs to happen. Like, as I think that things like this, there's not a lot of positives because the overall conversation is just very dramatic, and it's unfortunate for women and all the parties involved because there's some women that really need this as an outlet. But abortion should be the last line of defense. You know, there's other forms of protection and things to stop this. But when a woman decides she needs to have that done and it's a real situation, I mentioned the finances. People would disagree, but I feel like that's not a bad reason to get one. I'm not saying you should go every other month and get a fucking abortion, because I mean, that means that you might need to be criminally investigated.
Yeah.
Before I continue, let me state this. There was a girl I used to work with. It was like 9 years ago. And she had mentioned like, oh, I'm pregnant. And then she ended up getting an abortion, right? Which is none of my business. But the women at the job knew that she got an abortion. Then a year later, she got another abortion. And the women at the job judged her for it. And this is what they said verbatim. Man, this bitch just keep getting abortions. This is what they said. The women at the job said this verbatim. Man, this bitch just keep getting abortions. And I'm looking at it like, more or less, it's none of my business, right? And then years later, I look at it, and women were upset with the fact that she was getting multiple. She's abusing it. Like, abortions are for women that are in a mental crossroads in their life that may not be physically, mentally, spiritually. They have sex with a partner who's not responsible, whatever the case. It's for women like that.
Yeah.
But then here's the trigger point. Eddie, who are you to determine what abortions are good for anybody? Like, I'm having real conversations here. You can live in La La Land all the fuck you want. You can live in La La Land all the fuck you want. I live in the real world. Okay? So, no. Yeah.
I think even the point that we should not tell women what to do with their bodies is it lacks depth, because no one cares what a woman does with their body for the most part, right?
You get BBLs and everything.
Yeah, a woman can go to Miami right now. If she got the money, she could ride on a plane on her knees and go down there to Dr. Miami, whatever the case may be, get that whatever injected in the fat transferred from your abs to your butt, and then, you could live a very fulfilling life. If she want to get a breast augmentation, whatever you want to do, you can pretty much do with your body. If you want to fix your nose or whatever, all these different things, you could do all these different things. The real reason this is a conversation is because there's another living being that is inside you.
There you go.
So it's much more than just stop telling us what to do with our bodies. Like, you have another entity that is growing and living inside of you.
100%.
So I think we can't keep saying that, like, this is our body. We should be able, it is your body, right? But there's also another body that is growing inside of you. So you have to be, I think the thing that bothers me about some of these situations is everyone tries to make it about them, right? Like, every time there's a law, like the girl, the 21-year-old girl, she's like, oh my God, my life is ruined. It's not about you.
Yeah.
You don't even have a child, or not that I know of, I'm just talking. But from the looks of it, you're just being dramatic because you want to make it about you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, two things can be true. I think that it's a very vague statement to say men need to stop telling us what to do with our bodies, because I'm not telling you what to do. But I think that it becomes more personal when I have something to do with that child and I don't have any rights. If I tell you, my God, I've always wanted a daughter, can you please think about this before you have an abortion? Just please, can you please think about it? No, it's my body, my choice. I do what I want.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, no one talks about this shit. Fucking no one. There is a man somewhere in America right now crying because he wanted to have a child and she said no. And he had no say so. So the same woman that is mad at the government for having an opinion about her body, that man has no fucking rights when it comes to what he wants at all. He can't even have a conversation. He may be a man who can be a great father. He could be a guy that is very responsible, who's like, I just want to be here. He has zero fucking rights. Zero. And I know they're not going to give a fuck about this conversation. Oh, poor men, they don't have rights. Well, they're better. They have rights everywhere else, so they need to just be quiet. And it's like, wait a minute. A man that had something to do with your pregnancy literally has literally zero real estate in this situation. Like zero. Like he doesn't matter
and you
at
gotta
all.
pay child support.
So once you have the child and you say fuck you, he still got to pay child support. The government gonna put child support on him. You know, in some cases you can sign away rights to the child, but if a man wants to be in a child's life, he got to pay a penalty for it. But you could just go and abort a child. Like that's the thing that's crazy, man. It's like
wild.
It's wild. That's a wild scenario.
And it makes sense, right? Because you're the one that has to bear the child,
Right.
and you got to go through all that. But at the same time, like it takes two people to conceive
100%.
a child. So it has to be. There's a conversation there, and you know it would require different people, different walks of life,
Right.
government entities as well. But that just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me that, you know, my brother can have his rights as a father just completely stripped away from him simply because the mother chooses to do whatever she wants to. And then he still has to pay child support.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he can't even see his kids, but he still has to send that money every 2 weeks or whenever he gets paid. So
these takes are coming from two men that also realize that women are the life source of, like, if we use like a comic book reference, women will be the vibranium in Wakanda.
yeah.
Like women are the life source to the world. Me and Keith can't even have a conversation without a woman bringing us into this world.
Yeah.
That is a fact. But we also cannot eliminate that a man pollinated that plant.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So the thing about it is we can't live in a world where we want a certain type of support or we want certain things, but we literally will zero out, you know, women. Like me and Keith have even had conversations about when it comes to women, how they do deserve to be valued. We talked about conversations where women need to be paid more money to play in the WNBA. We have conversations of where women, it was a disparity between the facilities of a college. It was during the Final Four, I think it was. And there was a disparity between the facilities and the food between the women. It was all fucked up. And we was like, that's bullshit. They should have the same exact rights. So these are two men who actually support women that are making these statements. But in order to support women, I think you need to be objective. You cannot pander to everything that supports women. You got to push back on some things because everything ain't right.
And I think a lot of times when it comes to these things, it gets tied up in the politics.
Right.
And I think people don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So I think for me, the objective of this conversation is like, bro, it's a very conservative person out there that's just living in that bubble, and whatever they align themselves with is right, and that's the only thing that matters. And then there's also these, you know, extremely liberal people that are marching and stuff like that, and they don't have the capacity to look at the nuance that comes with this conversation, and that's just what their world looks like. So it's somewhere in the middle. At the end of the day, it's somewhere in the middle. There's good points made on both sides, and you know, depending on who, like, you know, how you feel about the situation and, you know, your life experience, you may lean on in any sort of direction. But I think, you know, kind of going back to my point earlier, one of the very important things that I want people to take away is like, yo, we got to remove the drama from this conversation.
We have to.
Because it seems to be driving people crazy. You know, people were really up in arms after this. Like, oh my gosh, I felt sick today. Like, I just, the whole government situation. I'm just like, y'all feel sick about this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, and I get it. You have emotional connections to these things, but there are some people that felt, very emotionally tied to the situation when it may literally never affect them ever in life. You know what I mean? And the person that is so dramatic about this situation may be married and may already have X amount of kids, and they may already have their tubes tied or whatever, and they kind of done having kids. Or, there may be another person that never even, is not going to never planned on not using contraceptives until they're married or whatever the case may be. But it's like they just engulf themselves into the drama of this whole situation, and it's driving people crazy.
I think what it is too, like you mentioned, people who are right or left, they just see right or left. And ultimately their emotions are being driven by the party rather than how they really feel. And they feel like in order for them to feel a certain way, they have to group think. That's the issue. And I think what makes it worse too is when you are just leaning on your echo chamber to give you more information. So, for example, the conservatives, after what the hell is that on me? The hell? Anyways, conservatives, after Roe v. Wade was reversed or whatever, they went straight to Fox News and listened to all the talking heads from Fox News who completely lack objectivity, and they just talk about everything that's right leaning, and they lean into the baby killer conversation. And then with liberals, they lean into the CNNs and they listen to Trevor Noah and all these very liberal people who only lean into liberal things. Like, dude, I do not like Trevor Noah. At one time I did. I can't stand that guy. He is just like, he is too liberal. I can't listen to two liberals talk about this shit on the news because it's just literally all the news they want to hear. I checked out, I think a good podcast to listen to is with a conservative and a liberal called Crystal and Cigar. If you go on there on Spotify, you'll find them on there, and they just gave information. I'll round up that conversation too. There's something that I felt was way too intrusive in regards to women, and I thought it was fucked up, and it's government overreach. There's a bunch of apps, right? And I forgot which reporter or which person that asked these major companies questions, but they basically asked, out of all these apps, if the government was to pass it being legal for a woman to go across state lines to get an abortion or whatnot, if they could use these apps to like basically implicate women. So, you got like, Uber and Lyft and all these places, right? If they were to do an investigation, they won't rule out the fact that if a woman's in a Lyft near a clinic trying to get an abortion, they could use that information to implicate a woman and put her in jail. I thought that's fucked up. That's just not cool. When these companies were asked the question, they never answered it with a response. Basically, she asked, "Hey, can you implicate women with these apps?" And they were like, no one answered the question. Only one of them did, and I forgot what the company was, but they said, depending on the state, if the state asked for information about an abortion, we would have to give up that information. So they admitted that they would give the information. You know how many murders and unsolved mysteries have been resolved through using apps? Remember that dude that killed his whole family back in like 2003? Was it Vincent Brothers?
Yeah, here in Bakersfield.
Yeah, here in Bakersfield. Yeah. They use cell phone towers, and they use insects that were found
on the license plate.
Huh?
That were on the license plate.
Yeah, they found insects in the license plate that were only found in a certain state, and they use cell phone towers to basically implicate him. Now, in today's modern world, they can use applications that have your location in them to use that against women that are seeking abortions.
Yeah. And then the menstrual cycles, the girls, they put in when their period starts and when it ends, and then there's like this prediction that happens in there. So if you're not having your period, obviously you're pregnant. So, that's a way that...
I think I forgot the name of that. It's one of the main apps. It's called something Stardust or whatever. And they can use this application to get a woman's information to determine if she's trying to get an abortion. This is where I think it's complete government overreach, where you're going to use an app to send a woman to prison or to jail. Like that's too much.
Yeah.
That's like toxic conservative. That is the typical toxic conservative behavior where you want to track a woman that is seeking an abortion. That is fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I think overall this thing is just unfortunate that it's even gotten to this space.
Yeah.
And it's literally only a conversation because we lived life like this for 50 years.
Yeah.
So some of this is like for some people this is all we know.
Yeah.
For some of our grandparents, 70, 80 years old, my aunt is technically it's my great aunt, but she's 69 years old. So there was a life that she lived prior to this even being a thing. You know what I mean? But just because I don't know what it is, you know, we're different era, millennials and whatnot. We feel like we have a voice and we feel like we should be able to speak our mind on certain situations. But I guess for me, what I always point to is like, why do you feel this way? And I think that when I see, you know, these extremely liberal people, these extremely conservative people starting to speak their mind, I'm like, yo, is this how you feel in a vacuum? Or is this how you feel because you're aligned with this party?
It's the party, man.
And there's this idea that that things are only right or wrong because a group of people agree on those things, right? And I think that's what's happening a lot with this situation. Like, you know, prior to 1950, whatever, when Roe v. Wade was, or not, it was 1970, 1973, I think it was. Prior to that, being a thing, like what was the conversation like then? You know what I mean? Like what was that? The conversation surrounding abortions and stuff. I wonder what, you know, the news articles look like, what the talking heads were saying then. Because before it was a thing, people had to live life. And, you know, I'm sure they lived life in a way where none of that really mattered, because obviously my grandma was having kids and, you know, she was conceived in a certain way. And, you know, I don't even think abortion was in the...
You have to understand, especially a lot of modern women are pushing back on the old narrative of woman gets pregnant, she has to have the child. Like everything that's considered old, women are pushing against that. They're not like, we're not housewives, we don't need to have babies, we don't need to do this, we don't need to do that. So a lot of that is a very progressive. Like it's different from a time 60 years ago versus now. So I get it. I get the idea of that, and a pregnancy is very intrusive in a woman's life. Yeah. So I can understand why the idea of the government or anybody telling women what to do or having any opinion on their body is where women feel slighted.
Yeah.
So that is like, I recognize that. I'm not just a person or a man speaking on this issue without seeing that is why women feel the way they feel. But I also think it's true that a lot of them are thinking with the party, and the liberal alignment is also an issue because it's groupthink. Same thing with conservatives. I don't want to keep reiterating the same point, but that's where a lot of the issues lie.
I think the most powerful thing that the liberals can say and maybe have said in this situation is the right to a choice. Because just because a person is liberal and they are pro-choice doesn't mean they want to abort every single baby. Yeah. It just means they want the opportunity.
There you go.
Given whatever situation, you know, that we spoke of earlier, whether it's money or a bad partner, whatever the case may be, they just want the choice to be able to go in there and say like, hey, this situation is not going to be right. I don't want to bring a child into the world like this. So, you know, therefore I want to get an abortion. And I think that's a powerful thing.
Now, I don't want to embed a joke in here, but it's like, you know, liberal and conservative argument. You know, obviously we've had a string of mass shootings and things that have went on in life, and liberals will be like, this is ridiculous. We need stiffer gun laws. We need to protect our kids. We need to protect the kids. And the conservatives will be like, oh, so now you want to protect the kids, huh? Yeah. So that's the type of battle we have. is where even in the most important issues that affect our world, we always allow party lines to dictate how we respond to these things instead of meeting in the middle and saying, hey, man, this is the problem. This is what's going on. Let me toss out the idea of Second Amendment. Let me toss out the idea of everything that aligns with my right-leaning beliefs. Let me toss out everything that aligns with my left-leaning beliefs, and let's meet here in the middle and figure out how we can resolve something. Because this issue is going to keep going on as long as people just don't. Yeah. It's just draining, man. So I don't.
What I wonder too, like asking a conservative, if there was an opportunity for Hitler's mom to walk into a Planned Parenthood and be like, I'm not ready to have this child, what would that conversation look like?
Oh, they would totally agree with that.
Yeah. So
they would totally agree with that.
You know, there may be some Hitlers that are out there getting aborted right now.
Yeah. And you know what? Hey, man, I said this earlier. The worst thing, there was a girl, I forgot what her name. She said, she was talking about Vladimir Putin. She's like, if I was your mother, I would, you would be loved, and you would be so-and-so, and you would be so-and-so. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
I be having to push back on some of those things because we don't know enough about international affairs,
right,
to be knowing like whether Putin is a bad or a good person.
We don't know.
Because I think about like I be chatting with some of the people in Russia and stuff like that, like that'll like stream my music and whatnot. And
Traitor.
I be talking to and some guys from Ukraine too, but their perspective of their world is so different than what's being expressed on the news. Like I checked in on one of the guys and he was like, I'm good, man. Like I don't see what's going on. It's just a lot of news and stuff going around. It kind of sucks that I can't do this and that, but you know, everything is good over here. So, but what I realize it's just a perspective. Some people think the Ukraine is doing wrong. Some people think Russia is doing wrong. And you know, that's just kind of what it looks like. So
yeah, that's true, man.
But I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
You had the point about the girl saying Putin was.
Oh, yeah. She basically was saying like, Vladimir Putin, if I was your mother, I would hold you close and I would let you know that I loved you. Basically stating like he had mommy issues.
Yeah.
Or he, you know, his mom didn't love him. What if his mom loved him? He's just a fucked up motherfucker. Because I know people like that. Yeah. I know people that had completely supportive parents and they end up being Crips and Bloods. I know motherfuckers like that. So it's like. Yeah. Like for you to overly analyze the situation and say he's unloved, you know, but it's also true that a child who is not loved properly can grow up and be a menace to society. So that's when you get the motherfucking Hitlers and people like that. Yeah. So we never know. But you know what? This is an exhausting conversation. We have other topics that we will talk about, but I will end this conversation by stating this. For the women out there, I support you. I love you. I have women that are in my family, obviously, aunts, sisters, people that of that nature. We support you, right? So don't get it twisted as if we don't. We just extended the conversation to have a very nuanced conversation surrounding this subject matter because we just feel that there's not enough being said. And I hope we put enough of those nuggets in this conversation to really make you think.
Yeah. And we're also like willing to learn if if somebody's out there and they have like something to say or, you know, a rebuttal to anything that we said, we're willing to listen.
We're going to have motherfuckers sending us articles and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to read it, but it's just like, you know, it can't be an emotional conversation.
No.
Like we got to be able to have a nuanced conversation, an intellectual conversation.
The issue with it too is the people be like, no, this is this is that. They will send you nothing but right wing outlets. Then the liberals will send you nothing but left wing outlets. There's really no real objective information there. Yeah. But that doesn't mean there's something we can't learn that exists within the conservative or liberal realm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and move on. Switching gears. A Burger King employee that has been there for 27 years with perfect attendance was given a gift, and some people agreed and some people didn't. Okay, let's start this off because first of all, we'll give the background. But David Spade has something to do with this conversation or this situation also. David Spade seems to be moved by the Burger King employee who got a mediocre goodie bag in recognition of 27 years without missing work, giving him money and making him laugh. Kevin Ford, who went viral this week after showing off his company gifts, tells TMZ his daughter let him know someone named David Spade donated $5,000 to his GoFundMe, but he wasn't sure it was the comedian himself until he checked his Instagram box. David slid in Kevin's direct messages telling him to keep it up after 27 years on the job without a break, and even cracking a joke without waiting a few more years before finally taking a day off. Kevin tells us he's a huge fan of David, so to get a donation plus some fun back and forth with Spade was surreal. With David's $5K donation, Kevin's GoFundMe has now raised over $30,000, with the money going to help him visit his daughters and grandkids in Texas. He also says he wants to use the dough to buy a new Ford Hybrid. Kevin's going to take a day off eventually and hopefully before David's deadline. Man, let me tell you something, bro. When I heard this, my heart just hurt, bro. Like, it really hurt because obviously this man is working a job like Burger King, right? And he's working a job that is a revolving door, and that's a part of the business model. They purposely don't pay people. They purposely don't give you certain benefits and things to create a revolving door of more people who will come in temporarily and leave because they don't want to take care of their employees. Yeah. But he has sustained a place where he has been treated like dirt for 27 years as a worker. And when he got the goodie bag in the video, he was genuinely happy. Like, oh, wow, it's a Starbucks cup and some Reese's. I got this, I got that. And my heart hurt for him because he seemed like a genuinely good person. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with good people, we need to take care of those people. Yeah. We need to stop giving them shit. This is a $1 billion corporation, billions of dollars. And they gave him Reese's and an empty Starbucks cup and some movie tickets after 27 fucking years. That is beyond cringeworthy, man. You gotta be a fucked up motherfucker to be like, here's some Reese's. You made me billions. Here's some Reese's. Mm-hmm. And you know why they do that, right? Because they feel like the person that's working that job is so low and such a scumbag, we could give him anything. Here you go, take this.
They're showing him his value.
They're showing him his value. This is what we think of you, you low, grimy, no good motherfucker. Take these Reese's.
Yeah.
Bro, let me tell you something. That we gotta, and you know what's funny? I was telling Keith this, and Keith was right, but I think I'm right too. He said, I was like, yo, this is bad PR. And Keith was like, no, it's really not bad PR because this is how they run their business. So why would they change? They're like, you're right. But the reason why it's bad PR because a comedian, David Spade, did more for him than $1 billion corporation. So when a fucking comedian could give you $5,000, but $1 billion corporation gives you Reese's, who the fuck looks bad in the end? That's embarrassing. You want to know what's sad? I'm just a truck driver, and I could give him $1,000. So as a truck driver that has no platform, I can do more for an employee than a company that employs him? That is disgusting.
Yeah.
And you know what really, really just makes my heart sad too is like right around the corner from my house, there's a Subway. Don't try to figure out where I live, folks. There's a Subway. And there are two women that work in that Subway. One's been there for 25 years. One's been there for 22 years. They're both very kind, great customer service. And every time I go there, the bread is always fresh. The vegetables are always perfect. The sandwiches, the meat is always set up like perfect. Everything. There's literally, you know how sometimes you go to Subway, you might see a little cheese mixed with the other cheese. Or like nothing is cross-contaminated. Everything is super clean. Like it is just pristine.
Yeah.
And I still haven't did it with my stupid ass, but I wanted to write corporate for Subway and tell them how valuable these women are. Like every time I've been in there, like I want to tell them literally, you owe these women something. Can you please give them a bonus? Yeah. $3,000. If a person has been working you for over 20 years, give them $10,000. What is $10,000 to a billionaire?
Yeah.
Are they afraid that, oh, well, everybody that works for 20 years is going to think they could get them? Bro, nobody's going to work at Subway for 20 years.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to work at Burger King for over 20 years. Can you please take care of these people? Because you're the one that created a business model to get people out the fucking door, and they surpassed your bullshit business model. They outlived it. They're grandfathered in.
Yeah.
And it's like, dog, this is how sad I'm 37 years old. He has been working there since I was 10 years old, bro.
Yeah.
He probably served me a burger. Who knows? I don't know where he's located. But it just hurts my heart to see employees being taken advantage of by somebody that could clearly take care of them.
Yeah. The hard part for me is like the having empathy versus like understanding the real world.
100%.
Right? So obviously you have a guy that is went above and beyond. And I've worked with people like that. I've worked with people that have worked in McDonald's for they may be in their mid 30s now, late 30s, and they've been working at McDonald's since they was teenagers. Or,
right.
Somebody, the maintenance guy that was working there, I think he was there for like 11 years or something when I was working there. So you have there are a lot of these type of employees. Like my mom has worked at her job for 20 some odd years. Same place, and that she don't get no type of bonus. They not sending her no check. They not giving her lifetime achievement award or nothing like that. She's just there, making the company money. That the stability is very, very rarely ever rewarded. Those employees are never compensated in a way that they should. And I get it. Like they are like the backbone of the company. And a lot of times, I'm sure the owner of that Burger King franchise has had to call him, schedule him on days where he probably wasn't working or, whatever the case may be. And I'm sure he's always showed up and always done his job. And I'm sure that the owner is putting pressure on him. Like, hey, like he's a manager, right?
I don't.
Or he's just
so.
a regular
worker.
Oh, just a regular. Yeah, that's not a good look. But I'm sure he's went above and beyond. Going through the different minimum wages and going through all these different changes in the company and all these different things. But then also me on the other hand, I realize like what the real world looks like. I know that I worked in fast food, so I know that the owner of the McDonald's that we worked at, or that I worked at, came in on Thanksgiving and told us thank you for working. While he had his family, he chilling with his family and stuff, and we in there flipping burgers on an extremely busy day because getting the pre-Thanksgiving meals, and some people are not, they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so it's just a regular day for them. All these different people coming to the line is backed up, and he coming in there thanking us. So that's the type of owners that own these companies. So for me, it's like I can have empathy for this worker, but also understand like what the real world looks like. I understand that these millionaires that own these different franchises, we're just numbers to them. Yeah, that's all it is at the end of the day. Yeah, unless you in some type of upper level management, regional managers, or whatever the case may be. Then you might be known by name and whatnot, but other than that, you just a number on the board to them.
Yeah, and you see the very warped worldview that these managers have. You think that it's impressive for you to show up to where I'm working with your family and be like, "Thank you for working today." Like, man, how about you and your family go fuck off? Yeah. I don't want to see you motherfuckers. Go eat your meal. Go do what you're going to do. Yeah. Don't come up here thanking me on this day. You could have closed it, you motherfucker, but you left it open because your bottom line is money.
Exactly.
So it's like, don't try to come to me like you're on my level. Like I'm right here with you guys. Thank you for shut the fuck up.
I just wanted to personally come here and show my face and let you know that I just thank you for working.
I just want to come here and show my jewelry and let you know, show you my wife's wedding ring that she has, and my kids
BBL and big
show
titties.
Her BBL, show those new titties, and some of my little kids. Even my infant has Jordans on. I want you to see that. It's got Jordan 3s on. Oh man.
And this is what life looks like if you don't abort your children.
Oh my God. As a conservative dude, conservative owner. Hey, thank you everybody for showing up today. Just make sure you don't have abortions. All right. Have a good one. Let me get a number 3. Oh man. Yeah, that's wild, bro. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I just it just hurts my heart. And I have this, and I have to share this with the people. I have this idea in my life that I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like I'm going to be blessed with an abundance of money someday. I'm talking about changing lives. And what I want to do is, I feel like I could still make a lot of money, but you know, also have morals at the same time. So if I buy because you know how some apartment complexes change ownership. Like if I change ownership and I buy it from these people and it's already filled with tenants, I'm gonna get my money. So I'm gonna go up to all the tenants and find out who's been. Oh, you've been here 20 years. Okay, I'm reducing your rent by $500. You've been here 20 years. I'm reducing your rent by $500. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" And I'm doing that because it's unfortunate that you have to be at this complex for that long and you've been here that long. So it doesn't make sense for me to charge you even more money when I have all these other units I'm getting money from.
Yeah.
Life has probably been tough on you.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel I can bless somebody within me still making money. It's like, dog, you got to realize how much. And what's sad too is apartment complexes will justify you paying more money while they change nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, nigga, this has been the same place since 1981.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing changed.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing been updated.
And if understanding like real estate, your mortgage is locked in. The property tax might go up, but your mortgage is locked in.
It's a fixed mortgage.
Yeah. So for the most part, like the hikes in the rent and stuff like that is just due to the fact that the owner can make more money.
Yeah, he's just exercising the right to make more money. Right? Why don't we say
every year?
You said what?
I was like, he can go up on rent every year if you want to.
Yeah, in California, I think it's a little different. I think we have more rights in California, but in other places they could literally do it yearly. Somebody said that their rent went up $400.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's so wrong.
Yeah.
Just because, and then here's the cutthroat part of business. Well, if you can't pay the $400, you're gonna have to leave. Yeah. And then you bring in a new tenant, and they willing to live there because they can't even find housing.
Yeah.
People can't even find apartments, man. This shit is getting serious.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up, man. It's so fucked up. You know what's crazy is you would assume that a single person shouldn't have to pay over $1,000 for an apartment.
Yeah.
But that's where it is now. You gotta pay some money, man.
Yeah.
You gotta pay some money. And then people will be like, well, you should just get a house, man. Like everyone's not in a position to always get a house.
Houses are expensive. I don't know. Yeah, houses are it's expensive. The mortgage is expensive. And then you have to pay for extra things. So like those people that say that it's kind of they're not speaking candidly about all the other aspects of owning a house.
100%.
Where there's something, you know, the AC doesn't work, AC goes out, you gotta pay for that, or you're gonna be sweltering in this, you know, in this Bakersfield heat. So it's like I just hate these like conversations. Like I watched this video, and this girl was talking about an abundance mindset. She was talking about how she had to change, you know, her conversation around money. She had to kind of unlearn a lot of things and all these different things. It was a decent conversation, but a lot of times with those conversations, she's like changing the mindset, but also it's like, okay, I'm financially literate now. Excuse me. I'm financially literate now. I know that, you know, my conversation around money back in the day was like this, and I need to speak about money in this way.
Nah, I need money.
now? Like, where do I go to make enough money to buy a house?
Thank you very
know
much.
What I mean, so that's what a lot of money conversations look like.
Exactly.
You know, they'll be like, "This is the things that you need 7 things you need to do to make to get money," and then none of them is actually earning money.
100%.
You be like, you got to wake up every day and tell yourself you're going to be rich.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
And here's the thing: you want to know what's absolutely hilarious about 7 ways to make money. And let's say you buy a little book, 7 ways to make money. They're making money off you.
For you buying the book.
Mm-hmm. So they could give you 7 ways, but one of the ways is taking advantage.
Buy the book.
Yeah, buy my book so I can make money and tell you how to not make it, motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome to America.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, shout out to this worker, man. God bless him. I hope he gets everything he deserves in life. But there's 2 things that's true about this. As much as I hurt for that worker and all these things, he probably genuinely enjoys working there. It's probably a place where he goes. He knows everything. He's comfortable. He doesn't want to better his situation. So that's also on you as an adult and as a man. I've had to make choices to better my life and, you know what I'm saying, and further my finances. I've had to make tough decisions. I've been very broke and I made the change, but a lot of people don't do that, right? But even though that's the case, God bless this man, and I hope that $30,000+ gets him what he needs. Mm-hmm. Switching gears, we're a little bit behind on this, but Joe Biden fell down on a bike recently. I forgot where he was. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I got to leave here in a minute.
Might have been in Delaware.
I'm not sure where it was. I don't want to get to lying, but yeah, I don't have the article. Mm-hmm. But basically, he was rolling up on a bike with some of his Secret Service was waiting there. And he looked like he was doing fine. He was riding the bike. He was also looking old riding the bike, but he was riding the bike. And Joe Biden actually is in decent shape. Mm-hmm. If you look at him, he's not fat. He's pretty decent shape for a 79-year-old person with Alzheimer's. But
young Joe Armstrong.
Joe Armstrong. Yeah. Joe got on there. He was trying to answer a question, and I guess a gust of wind came. And not only that, but when he tried to put his foot down, the back of his foot caught that pedal, and then he just fucking fell over. And then
it wasn't that. It was like when he stopped.
Yeah.
His feet they have the little like
the clamp things.
Yeah, not a clamp, but the thing that you insert your foot in.
Yeah. You slide your foot in it.
Yeah. So
I didn't see that on the pedal though.
Yeah, it was in. That's the type of bike he had.
Oh,
so
okay.
when he stepped out, his foot just got caught in there, and then he just took a tumble.
Yeah, but then the funny thing about when he fell, the Secret Service treated it like it was almost like a attack on his life. They was like, everybody back up, everybody back up. And it's like, this nigga failed. Ain't nobody trying to do nothing to Joe Biden. This is the second time this nigga failed too. They need to change his name to Humpty Dumpty. This motherfucker keeps falling. How did you fall up Air Force One? He didn't fall down. He fell up Air Force One, and then he fell like again. And it's like people were like trying to make excuses like, he just fell once. This nigga keeps falling, right? The funny thing, and this is the embedded joke that I had, it's like, yo, how is Joe Biden supposed to stand up for America if he can't stand up on a bicycle? Right?
Yeah.
This nigga's falling everywhere.
That nigga Joe, man.
Bro, the funny thing to me wasn't so much the fall. It was the reaction from Secret Service. Mm-hmm. Everybody back up. Everybody back up. It's like, dude, nobody did anything. This nigga just fell.
Yo, imagine him hemming up the bike. Like
grabbing the bike. Grab the bike. Put some handcuffs on the bike. Y'all arresting the bike? Like, they ain't did nothing to this man.
That's funny.
Yo, I'm gonna tie this in. And women talked about this and they got fucking mad. This is just random. But after the Roe v. Wade situation, they got a text message from Joe Biden's administration saying, please donate $15 to fight against Roe v. Wade.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. It's a fucking message sent from the Democrats. And it says, here, let me see. I'm going to look it up right now.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, dude. I was just like, what the fuck? Watch this. I'm gonna look it up right now. It's a gnat in here. Oh, it's a fly. I was like, what the fuck was that? Hopefully I got it.
All in your face.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Joe Biden $15 donation. Democrats donate 50-50. Let's see. Biden blasted for. Here it goes. 4 days ago. Biden, top Dems accused of tacky fundraising Roe versus Wade reversal. Says a fundraising money grab by President Joe Biden and other top Dems in the wake of Supreme Court reversal of Roe v. Wade has irked supporters who called the move tacky. I've gotten 6 fundraising emails from Democrat candidates today. Feminist author Roxanne Gray wrote on Twitter on Friday, it's tacky and it highlights a real disconnect between many politicians and their constituents that is only growing, Gay said. Matt Gehring, a New York-based writer, performer, shared a fundraising email from the Democrat National Committee on Twitter and was so incensed that he added, and with that, I'm unsubscribing from the DNC. If they had any decency, they direct folks to donate to abortion funds, he wrote. Don't tell us to vote, and don't dare send us campaign funding emails today. So they literally asking for $15, bro. That's wild. Right after. Well, hold on. No, it's even worse. The DNC asked for up to $25 a pop in donations to help elect Democrats in November, while Pelosi appealed for $15 donations, according to the magazine. I mean, Pelosi, you still ask for $15, motherfucker. Shut up. These people is wild, bro. They need to have, like, they privileges taken. How the fuck you that old and you still in there? Remember during the pandemic when Pelosi got her hair done? Everybody was getting restricted. Mm-hmm. This is why I don't read. Like, I've been registered Democrat pretty much my whole life, but now I just don't even have any, like, political affiliations. Because during the pandemic, it really showed, like, fucking dickhead California governor
Newsom.
Gavin Dick Newsom. Newsom got busted eating at a restaurant with a fucking entourage,
smiling
and shit like, oh, sorry, I didn't. Don't take it for what it was. He got busted, and then fucking Pelosi was getting her hair done while all the restrictions going on. Who's he trying to look pretty for?
That's crazy. It was right here. One of the things says. Meanwhile, O'Rourke, who is trying to unseat conservative Texas Governor Greg Abbott, sent a fundraising email asking for $3, saying the only way to overcome Friday's Supreme Court decision is to win this race for governor.
What? So even
$3 donations.
Is that the conservative?
He's trying to unseat the current conservative governor.
That's wild.
So O'Rourke is, he's a Democrat.
Oh, a Democrat?
Yeah.
Democrats is trying to get paid right now, dog.
Yeah.
I think the Biden administration know they finna be done after this, so they about to get their bag up.
Gotta get their money right.
I fell off a bike. Please donate me $50. Donate $50 to the administration to help me for my bike injury. Like, goddamn, Joe, you motherfucker. Yeah, we can go ahead and wrap it up. You want to go into the subway worker before we close it out?
I mean, it's up to you if you have time.
It's a couple-minute conversation. Mm-hmm. Switching gears. Unfortunately, some really fucked up news. A subway worker was literally slain over an argument regarding mayonnaise. And here it is. Atlanta subway employee shot dead by customer in argument over mayo, police say. Basically, police say shooting happened 6:30 p.m. at a subway located at a gas station on Northside Drive Southwest. The owner of a subway says the reason for the shooting was something small. A customer was mad about mayo. Believe it or not, it was about too much mayonnaise on his sandwich, end quote. Owner Willie Glenn. In this argument, police say the customer shot 2 subway employees, leaving a 26-year-old woman shot dead and another 24-year-old woman rushed to critical condition. Atlanta police have arrested a 36-year-old man. He decided to escalate the situation from there. That's when all hell broke loose. Glenn said that the injured employee's 5-year-old son was inside the store when the shooting started. Glenn said the manager on duty returned fire at the suspect. Wow, the manager was strapped.
Yeah.
Returned fire at the suspect, but wasn't able to hit him. I don't know what the world is coming to, especially with our youth. They seem to be so hot-headed. He said, everybody wants to carry a gun. Everybody wants to scare somebody with a gun. It's scary out here. Crimes.
It's 36 youth?
Yeah, 36 is not youth. That nigga's my age out here. Can't control himself. See, this is a case for this. This is what I thought about. Stop arguing with strangers. I'm learning more and more that even in traffic, when somebody does something crazy, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm coaching myself more and more not to react because people are crazy. Mm-hmm. And you don't determine how they get to react when you react to them. When they like try to run into you on the road or flip you off, don't even flip them off back. Just let them leave. You don't know them. You'll never see them again. Fuck them. Let them leave. Mm-hmm. You don't have anything to prove. You don't have anything to prove because they'll flip you off and you flip them off back. You'll be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to kill him now. That's how some people think.
Some people are just ready to shoot somebody.
They just want to kill you. They probably got an AR-15 on their motherfucking driver's seat and they ready to pop your ass. Mm-hmm. And they figure like, I'll get away with it. I'll shoot him on the freeway and just keep driving. Mm-hmm. People are fucking crazy. I had a dude on the freeway started gangbanging on me one day. Mm-hmm. This is over 6 years ago. I was hauling dirt through Los Angeles. I was taking dirt from Santa Monica to Irwindale. And I was on the 10. I was near Westlake. And the traffic was backed up. And this dude cut me off all crazy and I blew my horn. And he was like, fuck you, right? Mm-hmm. And then I blew my horn again, just kind of being a dick. And he's like, fuck you, motherfucker. And then traffic came to a dead stop. And then he got out of his car and started throwing up gang signs. It was like, yeah, nigga, now what? Nigga, throwing up gang signs. And I was like, ooh, I want to run him over. If he would have came any closer, I'm not getting out the car to fight him. I'll just hit him with my truck. I was fully loaded too. I'd have fucked his ass up. But that's the thing, bro. Stop giving people ammunition. Like, let them fucking go. I'm not saying that these subway workers did that, but I'm just saying I don't think they were completely quiet. They probably was like, fuck you, I don't care, shoot me then. Shoot me, I don't care, shoot me. That's usually what happens. Mm-hmm. There's a dispute.
Yeah.
There's a dispute going back and forth. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck your mayonnaise. Fuck you then. The thing about it is we have to realize these people are strangers. We will never see them again. Let them think what they want to think and say, hey, man, I apologize. If you want me to make you another sandwich, I could do that for you. And then even if he being a punk, he'd be like, yeah, motherfucker, that's right. Make my sandwich, bitch. Make it, bitch. I'd be like, all right, sir. Yeah, have a good day. Sometimes you got to do these things to stay alive.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I was thinking. And I guess to preface my statement, I was thinking that the whole time, like, you know, what you were saying. To preface my statement, I don't want to make it even sound like the women are the reason why they got shot.
Yeah, right, 100%.
Because that's just a wild turn of events.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think that there's a way of like disengaging conflicts, and sometimes like we don't have the skills to turn the other cheek or whatever the case may be. Because a lot of the times we'll engage in an argument. And I don't know if it's exciting, maybe it's exhilarating in a sense, or, you know, maybe you have a history or a background where you feel like being disrespected is the end all be all and you won't let nobody disrespect you, whatever that looks like for you. So, yeah, that's what sometimes it happens. Like the dude could be going in there like, yo, you forgot this on my sandwich. And they're like, I didn't forget nothing on your sandwich. And then, you know, next thing you know, it's back and forth and then guns are being drawn. But like you were saying, if you have the skills to disengage that conversation, like, all right, sir, you know, you're right. You know, I was wrong in this situation. And then that can de-escalate the whole situation and you can go home to your friends and family. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like I said, I'm not trying to blame the women for doing anything wrong because you should not be shot at your job. No. One, you should not be shot over no food. That sounds stupid.
So stupid.
And he's going to rot in prison. But, you know, we have to start thinking about making it home. You know what I mean? And that's more important than your pride and all these other things. We got people that care about us in the world. So, you know, just not engaging in that argument could afford you the opportunity to go home and live another day. So
yeah, man. Yeah, on that note, man, just everybody please be careful out there. Be careful how you engage strangers. I've been practicing this, but in some ways I kind of fail. And, if I'm out and about somewhere, I don't go to clubs no more. But even when I was like phasing out of going to clubs, somebody would cut me in line or something. I'd be like, man, this just ain't worth it. I'm going to go home because I don't want to end up. Because I know if I tell this guy, like, hey, man, you cut me off or whatever, he's going to be like, I'm all, and what are you going to do about it? Now I got to fight somebody for no reason? I don't want to fight him.
Yeah.
Why? Just leave or just disengage. Don't let people you don't know get you all caught up. But here's the pushback. I'm not letting anybody disrespect me. They don't have the right to. Okay, then go ahead and die then. Go ahead and die.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to fucking happen, especially in today's world.
Yep.
There are people that are hoping they could blow your head off. They're
waiting, huh?
They waiting for it, bro. There's somebody right now in a Walmart or a Target like, dang, I wish I could have killed people today. Like, literally. I know it sounds like it's a joke, but it's not a joke because we see it all the time on the fucking news. We see people going into, they've infiltrated every establishment that we could think of. They've went into theaters, they went into schools, they went into fucking Walmarts and Targets, they went everywhere. And these people also drive cars. These people also eat sandwiches. These people also are parents of kids at school. So it's like if you're the principal and you're getting in a heated argument, Jacob Smith's dad's gonna come and blow your head off. Like you have to learn how to deal with different personalities. Literally, recently, me and my sister were headed out of town to see my dad. And I was in the fast lane, and mind you, I was already going 80 because I was trying to pass a car in the center lane. The center lane is not for speeding. The center lane is only to simply pass people. I don't know if people realize that. But anyways, the person, I had to go over 80 to pass them up, but it was a person behind me, and she was on my fucking car in the back, just, and she kept speeding up and slowing down, going. I'm like, this lady's fucking crazy. So I just stuck my finger out the window, and I was like, don't do that. Like, wagged my finger, like, don't do that. And then I finally sped up, got past to let her go. And when she went by me, she swerved into my car. Swear to God. You could ask my sister. She swerved into my car and probably came within a few feet of hitting my car and then flipped me off and drove off. And here's the fucked up part. She had a handicap sticker on the back of her car. And I was thinking to myself, and I was like, this would be a good joke. I'm like, that's why you handicapped. But I didn't want to say that. You know what I'm saying? You probably got handicapped getting in the first accident. Now you're trying to hit me.
That's why you can only do this, and you can't walk towards my car.
Oh, you know how bad I feel? I'd be like, pull over then, bitch, what's up?
That's why you cannot run a fade.
No. What if it was a dude and I was like, pull over then, bitch, what's up, pussy? And he get out of his car with his wheelchair, like, what's up, nigga? Huh? I'm on a wheelchair? I would just drive off at that moment. He'd be like, you just, imagine you driving off and the guy's just in a wheelchair like, what's up, pussy, what's up? You don't, but the thing is, you can't let a person in a wheelchair get a hold of you though.
Yeah,
because
arms are strong.
Them arms strong. They might not have no legs, but them arms is like they benching 900 pounds. They'll fuck around and like, I'm gonna squeeze you to death. Yeah. Well, it looks like we came to the end of this one, man. I hope that you took something from this podcast. It's been delayed a few days, but we're gonna put this shit up as soon as possible, man. So. We appreciate you, and if you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're out of here, man.
Peace.